Howdy, cadre. Same day for me, and picking up right where we left off. When last we left our hero, he had just made some rambling points about the multiverse. Now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program, complaining about our landlord. Sorry for the shift in perspective in that announcement. It gives you just a subtle taste of what it's like to deal with being able to see into other dimensions. I guess I should boat. Yeah, we'll head down here and get back on the boat. So, yeah, where was I at with my... Nom 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 nom. I find it hard to talk when I'm eating kelp, and now I'm out of kelp. So I'm gonna have to go secure more food soon. And actually there's bunches of kelp down here, I believe. So I should probably just go secure more. Yep, kelp it is. Kelp me Rhonda, kelp me Rhonda. Is this a singing episode? I guess there's a chance it might be. Alright, these make what? 9? Yes, 9. So 6 is our limit for a stack. Good enough. The boat. Gonna need the boat. Alright, the landlord narrative. While we boat. It's funny to talk about a landlord while I'm seafaring. Landlubber. Their wobbly legs on the sea. Kissing the ground when they get back on shore. I are pirate, yarg. Shiver me timbers, batten down the hatches. Make 'em walk the plank. There's a parrot on my shoulder. Peg leg. Okay, sorry. It's not a pirate episode. That was just a brief... brief sidetrack. Intermission. Okay. Yar. Yeah, I didn't mean that. Oh ho. Alright, now I can't stop it. So, I sent a letter to my landlord outlining 28 points, and he has not responded directly to that. I also called his son to ask if he had received that letter, the father, and the son played dumb, or didn't know. And I was starting to say that last episode, that I have learned to hold multiple possibilities in my head. It's what is necessary to deal with cognitive dissonance in this confusing world. And it also is a useful tool or method or practice for dealing with unknowns. And there's so many unknowns in our world. With the, fake news and conspiracy theories and public versus private motives and America. But it also can be useful in your personal life when you don't know what's going on in other people's heads, people who are important to you, or people who have a large power or influence over your life, such as employers, lovers, landlords, family members, cohabitants, potentially police, lawyers, judges, and especially when it comes to ongoing disputes and people who withhold information from you, are uncommunicative or unresponsive in their dealings, or people who just are, prone to shut you out for long periods of time. It feels like a juggling game in some respects, holding two differing perspectives or conflicting opinions and sustaining them. But again, I feel like in some ways it parallels how I've been trying to deal with multidimensional personality disorder. Undiagnosed in this world. Yeah, so many parallels. And part of me feels like I have a calling to pull at these parallel threads to show others the weave of the fabric of the cosmos, to help guide others towards a greater understanding of the complexity of everything. And at other times I just, Cassandra complex, I just feel insane. Like nobody is ready for my knowledge. And that's why I've crafted this bizarre method of communication over the last 14 years, I guess. It's about how long I've lived here, too. But I'm referring now to when I started my YouTube channel. But I have managed, I got a brief glimpse of weblebrity, YouTube fame. And when I say brief glimpse, I was never over 2,000 subscribers, that's for sure. But I befriended some people who were quite popular, at least back in the day. Oh, I hear ya. I fear ya. I steer clear ya. So shout out to Ian if he's listening. I'm quite confident he's not. Or heck, world peace. I've become quite interactive with him on Facebook, but he's got a very different persona now, and there, being an expatriate, a very patriotic expatriate, former military, and now I think he works in private security in Japan. And I'm not even saying his name, so I don't dox him. But yeah, world peace. I still find that ironic that that was his channel name, and then he joined the military. But anyways, so many sidetracks. But hey, we follow where the current takes us. I was explaining why I just developed this obscure method. A chance to philosophize hidden in a Minecraft gameplay. So people interested in my philosophies have been scared away by my channel rebranding. Scared or confused away by my channel rebranding or my switch to this format. If they forgot about me in the years that I was dormant, they'll come back and say, "Who is this web druid that's playing Minecraft in my subscriptions list?" I don't remember subscribing to a web druid. I don't want to watch Minecraft. Unsubscribe. But really, I've only lost maybe a dozen subscribers in the last couple months. I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to my count. The numbers aren't important. I care about quality more than quantity, which is partly why I focused on non-content for a while and like trying to scare away the people with short attention spans or not enough interest. And some of my natural tendencies do that too. I don't stick very well to one theme for very long, and I have an archivist's perspective on YouTube to some extent that, like, everything I post, I think about beforehand, and I tend to leave up. There are a few exceptions, but so once I talk about a subject, I feel like I've covered it, and I'm less likely to revisit it. Which really, a former friend of mine, who I met through YouTube, who lives out in Maine and is very focused on rewilding these days. We kind of had a falling out, but one thing I always appreciated about him is he had a very clear dedication to combating the ills of society. That was what he decided was kind of the root of our problems, where I'm focused on reductionism being kind of the seed from most of our problems. He focused on civilization is the best word. And I don't disagree with it. There are a lot of problematic parts of civilization, primarily tied with imperialism. Imperialism. Well, I guess, isn't that the same? No, imperialism is thought based on concrete evidence. But I'm talking about empire. So, and to some extent, he's softened or altered his focus away from civilization and more directly onto rewilding, which are certainly related. I see the thread, but Lighthouse. That's a beautiful lighthouse. Not sure if this is a point. Looks like it's a point. Or maybe that's just a seawall. Connects an island to the mainland. Anyway, why was I talking about Zach? Oh. Yeah, I appreciate his focus. His YouTube channel, almost every video was focused in some way on this idea that the root of our problems is civilization. And really, I think there's a layer of colonialism, empire building, you know, abuse of natural resources and other people, that all relates to Western culture. And in some ways, Western culture has spread globally. There are very few untouched areas. Where like the natural world is not influenced by man, and there's fewer areas yet where there are humans that live in isolation without being affected by globalism. And maybe globalism is another thing that could be focused on, but there are aspects of globalism that I appreciate. Like being aware of the greater whole and being able to interact with it, I think is all positive. It's just when a global agenda becomes authoritarian and forces itself on all parts of the world where it really gets to bother me. And that, to a large extent, is Western culture and imperialism and, you know, the European cultures, and America and China and other parts of the world have different flavors and forms of colonialism, but there's some commonality between them that just causes problems and strife and exploitation and damage to humans and the natural world, which really we're a part of. That's part of reductionism that I fight against, is that we have it in our heads that we're not part of nature, but we are. We can build walls between us and it. We can try and dominate and control it, but still there are quote-unquote acts of God and natural disasters that can wipe out all of our work, or yeah, maybe it's about time to get out of the boat. I guess I'll watch for a way to get out. Anyways, I was going to talk about my landlord, though, wasn't I? Why is there carpet out in the water? Oh. It's like an ice-breaking... looks like an ice-breaking tip to the boat or something. I find a ladder. Train of thought. Woo woo! So I've sent 2 letters to my landlord. He hasn't responded to them in full. He's asked me to move out through a lawyer and a voicemail message. I guess I could just say voice message now, or just